SmackDown was in a bit of a holding pattern last week. Not talking about SmackDown that's currently airing on USA right now. We're talking about SmackDown from January 10th. SmackDown was in a bit of a holding pattern outside of Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens continuing their road to the WWE Championship ladder match at Royal Rumble in a few weeks. But it should pick up this week with some returns on the show. But on Monday Night Raw, though, we got the debut of Penta. He finally debuted about a week later than we thought. We thought maybe he would debut on the Netflix premiere. Did not happen, though. They ended up setting aside more time for him to wrestle Chad Gable in a fun match where he defeated the American former American Alpha wrestler or whatever. Great to see Penta on television again. He was clearly emotional to be there. I wonder what the future holds in the meantime for Penta before his tag partner, Ray Phoenix, comes in as well. But thoughts on this premiere, Brandon? I know you're a big fan of Penta.
So, yeah. Good.
I've heard Brandon talk.
I enjoyed it. Like, Miranda seen me act like a fucking child watching it.
Look at her. Yeah.
I was so pumped. I was. I mean, because I like, the Lucha Brothers. I like what they do. I like, the whole get up. Penta's mask. Like, the first time I even seen Penta was I knew who he was because of Lucha Underground, and I watched this whole deal there, and it was dope. And then that's how I found Ray Phoenix. I mean, that's how I found a lot of these guys. Swerve Strickland. I knew Ricochet. I mean, I saw Ricochet before I seen Ricochet on there, but he was dope to watch.
Brandon, you looked it up. How old is he?
39.
Oh, okay. I would have thought maybe he'd been a bit younger, but he has been doing it a lot longer than sometimes I realized too.
My man was crushing it. 39 years old. I couldn't do that. I promise you that much.
Mike said in the chat, he said, smart choice to wait a week so his debut did not get overshadowed by all that was going on in the Netflix premiere. Absolutely. I think that's a good point, too. I know a lot of people were kind of criticizing WWE for pushing back the Dakota Kai, Lyra Valkyria Women's Intercontinental Championship match as well. But I think that went a little bit into that decision-making as well to kind of give it its proper time like it got this week as well. So good to see Penta El Ser Romero. During his entrance, it felt like when he did the Ser Romero, it felt like that maybe some of the crowd didn't quite know what he was doing. Like maybe they didn't know who he was. I even saw one person.
Where were they at?
Dallas, I think.
No, they weren't. They were in California, somewhere in San Jose.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. I don't remember.
Yeah, it was in San Jose.
But either way,
it took like the first 2 minutes, and then him coming out. By the time he got to the ring, they pretty much knew what it was then.
And Michael Cole was doing a good job on commentary, telling his backstory, talking about what Ser Romero meant and all this stuff, kind of just letting the fans know at home at least. But at first it kind of felt like maybe they didn't know who he was. I even saw some people online. One person posted a picture of Penta kind of doing his La Parka tribute when he walks out like he always does on his entrance, and they legitimately thought he was paying homage to Razor Ramon Scott Hall. That was not the pose he was doing. He was paying homage to La Parka from WCW. There's a big difference. But anyway. But yeah, so some fans probably don't know him.
La Parka is a very, very recognized and famous luchador in Mexico. So, of course.
And really, technically, if you look at him and Penta, they kind of have the similar attire, similar looks to a degree. Can you imagine those two as a tag team back in the day? That would have been
crazy.
Pretty dope. Would have been.
I told Miranda, I was like, I want a mask. I said that mask in particular.
I've actually heard that WWE are very pleased right now with the merchandise sales that Penta has gotten.
The moment he debuted, his shirts went to number 2.
Oh, really? I didn't know they went that high. Wow. Who was number 1? I'm curious.
Well, it might have been him, actually. Hold on.
I like that.
His probably shirt and they said his mask was selling for $7.
Oh, yeah. The mask will go like hotcakes.
$75 is what they were selling for just for.
Woo! But hey, if you like him enough, man, that's it. Yeah.
Better hope they still have them in stock when Trump's our president.
I'm trying to get one. Need to write Trump like, listen, I need this.
I'll see if I can find you one when I go to the Rumble if you give me the money to get it.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, sure the kids would love it for certain. But as I mentioned earlier, they did push back the Lyra Valkyria Dakota Kai Women's Intercontinental Championship match to crown the first ever Women's Intercontinental Champion. But as we mentioned here, it got the proper time it did deserve, and it was actually one of the best matches on the show this week. I thought
that match was crazy work.
Yeah, Lyra Valkyria defeated Dakota Kai to become the first ever Women's IC Champion. WWE has been very high on Lyra ever since she came up from NXT, so this absolutely makes sense to me. What do you think?
I honestly thought it was gonna be Dakota Kai, but I'm not mad that it wasn't. Like Lyra is still very good. I think I would have been happy either way it went. But Dakota will get her time. I mean, like think about it. Like the work that she did in that match was crazy. So,
Oh yeah, she's coming off an injury too, not too long back. So just good to see her doing her thing again without getting re-injured and stuff. But yeah, Lyra Valkyria has got a great future ahead of her. And at first, I'm not going to lie to you, I wasn't a big fan of the women's mid-card titles, like the Intercontinental and the United States Championship. But I think what they've done with them so far has been pretty solid with Valkyria and Chelsea Green over there on SmackDown. So I know Brandon was a big fan of her having her face on her dress and stuff after she won the US title.
Took me out. I was like, hell no.
So yeah, hopefully this will go just as well on Raw. And the women's division on both shows is always expanding. And we'll talk a little bit more about that here in a minute when we talk about the Royal Rumble. But yeah, there's plenty to go around in WWE's women's division. It's definitely something to check out for sure. Mike says in the chat, WWE needs to do a documentary on the history of Lucha Libre, like WCW did once on Nitro. That would be a very good thing. The WWE, it's a lot of it's like Rey Mysterio, but
no,
but not just WWE.
A lot more than just Rey. Like I get, yeah,
he's the most well known.
But he's the most well known out of all of them. But
you can go, you can do like documentary on stuff even outside of WWE. They own probably most of the archive footage from a lot of those other companies anyway, or
WCW anyway.
Yeah, for certain. But yeah, I'd definitely be down to watch that for sure. I don't know if they put it on the network or where they air it.
I know they did work with was it AAA? They used to work with like years ago. That's back when they used to work with New Japan and shit too.
Oh yeah,
yeah. They used to have guys go to Japan and shit all the time.
Nice. Saturday night's main event will be taking place on January 25th, a week before the Royal Rumble, and we now have our main event match for that card. It is going to be main event Jey Uso getting his World Heavyweight Championship opportunity versus Gunther as the Master of the Yeet will face. He went face to face with the Ring General on Raw. We'll be previewing Saturday night's main event next week before that show airs. So the thoughts on Jey Uso, I'm sorry, getting his World Heavyweight Championship opportunity.
Hey, let it rock.
Yeah, let it rock.
It sucks because it's one of those two, like Jay's not going to win.
Yeah, just like what we talked about with the Powerhouse Hobbs last week.
Yeah, like
it kind of telegraphs. Yeah, not only that, they announced Jey Uso has already entered the Royal Rumble match, which pretty much telegraphs he's not going to win either. I mean, not saying he can't, because this one I would believe more than maybe the Will Hobbs thing, just because Jay has been chasing that singles title for a while. Yeah. But I just don't know if they're going to want to take the title off Gunther that soon. After getting the title back. So I could definitely see this maybe being a WrestleMania thing for Gunther to lose that title at some point against somebody. We got another title match at Saturday night's main event. It'll be Sheamus challenging for the Intercontinental title against Braun Breaker. Sheamus, who's never won the Intercontinental title in his career. I think it would complete his Grand Slam accolade if he were to get it. Do you think Braun Breaker will drop the title to Sheamus? He recently dropped the title not long back, I think, to Sami Zayn.
And Jay, didn't he?
Yeah, I think it was Jay. You might be right. So would that maybe be a thing, or is Braun Breaker hold on to this a little bit longer?
I don't know. It depends on how much Sheamus has still got left in the tank, and from the looks of it, he's still got quite a bit. But I don't know if you want to reward. The reward is wild, but Sheamus has been there for a while, long time, and he's put in a lot of work. He's put a lot of guys over.
I just think
I don't think Braun loses anything by losing to Sheamus.
No.
But if you turn it into a series and then Sheamus wins it at the end of that series, I wish they would do. You remember? Hell, that's how him and Claudio became a tag team. They did a best of 7.
Yeah, that was great, by the way.
I wouldn't mind seeing one of those again but have the title be the stake. You know what I mean? At the end.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I just kind of feel like maybe Sheamus winning the Intercontinental title might be like a WrestleMania type moment.
Yeah,
big deal for him.
That.
So I can definitely see that maybe happening maybe a few months down the line. We'll have to wait and see. Mike said, did you see that apparently WWE booked the Saturday night's main event to go up against All In, AEW's big WrestleMania show in Dallas? Could be wrong, but I thought I saw that somewhere. Yes, you did see that right. They booked Saturday night's main event for obviously January 25th. I think there's one in May, and then July 12th is the exact same day as AEW All In. And I'm not going to lie to you, I felt that was a little bit petty. I don't think that you necessarily needed to do that. You could do that on any other Saturday. I don't know why WWE felt the need to do that.
Listen, from a marketing standpoint, it's dumb because, or a viewing standpoint, it's dumb because whether you like AEW or not, most people turn into for pay-per-views and shit. So like, you're not going to get the response that you would. I don't think this was a WWE call because I just don't see it being a reason to do that, knowing that no matter what, a lot of people are going to turn in to watch pay-per-views. So you're not going to get the viewership you wanted. I think this is probably just a thing with Netflix, and at just the time that's when it lined up.
Well, it's going to be on NBC though. That's the difference.
Oh, it's on NBC. This might be
NBC. And that's why I think WWE maybe kind of did it, because they know that not everybody can either afford to shell out the pay-per-view money, and they think, all right, come over here and watch it on network television on NBC. It's going to be free as long as you you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So it just kind of felt a little shady in my opinion. Wasn't a big fan of it because again, WWE doesn't need to do that. But they have been booking some stuff lately where it kind of is trying to counter program AEW a lot. And it's not like they're, big competition to WWE. Probably never will be. But for whatever reason,
that's also business.
That mentality. Though. I know it is business. You're right.
Like business is business. So. You may not like it. Business ain't always clean, but business is business.
Yeah, and that also means that AEW just needs to step their game up. It really does. So I don't disagree with that. So on this Monday Night Raw 2, it was main evented by Damian Priest versus Finn Balor in a street fight with a little help from the tag team champions, the War Raiders. Finn Balor and the Judgment Day finally get their comeuppance against Damian Priest as he wins here. Hopefully this will be the end of this feud for now. It's gone on for a while now. It felt like a blow off to this potentially finally happening here on Monday Night Raw.
I wish it'd be the end of Finn Balor too.
Shut up.
Well, I don't mind Finn Balor. Finn Balor's a great wrestler, but it's just this feud with him and the Judgment Day has been going on forever. There were many names declared for their intentions to be involved in the men's Royal Rumble match, especially in a few weeks' time. The men so far, we know for certain John Cena, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Jey Uso, and LA Knight have all declared. So that right there is a murderer's row of anybody could win this, in my opinion. Now, I don't think Jey Uso is obviously winning the world title because of this, and LA Knight may not win the Rumble, but they're going to be up in the conversation. So,
but what I will say this, just by the list of guys that you just listed off, they already have a lot of these guys already have individual stories going on, but the story potential that you could bring out with this, with the interaction with some of the guys in the Royal Rumble that haven't, announced it, but they'll be there type shit. Like, I feel like I heard this today on this other podcast I was listening at, and they listed the entrances, like who should be first, whatever. And I didn't even think about it till they said it, but Logan Paul Paul comes in at number 1, and then you have Cena come in at number 2. This gives they can work each other. That's what I'm saying. Like, you get a preview of what could be in Cena's run, as this is my last run shit, right? Between him and Logan. And then at number 3, you bring out another heel. So I think it was Dominic. Have him come out at number 3. And now you got him and Logan Paul in there working over Cena. And then at number 4, you could have, a big time babyface come out, whoever it may be. Like, but the way they broke it down was pretty cool. But I didn't think about, like, if you have Logan going at 1, like, he always does something spectacular. Like the last 2 Rumbles he was in, like that clash between him and Ricochet, and I can't remember the spot he pulled in the second one. But you get what I'm saying, like, to have him start it off, and then, like, I'm not saying he goes all the way to the end and win it, a la, but what I'm saying is, like, he gets far enough in. But you wait until you bring some of the other guys in. You could also see a bunch of stories, like, because he's still on SmackDown. Like, Shinsuke has the title. Shinsuke comes in, but not in there too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
probably
there's so many stories that potentially could come out just with the roster of named guys dealing with the ones who haven't. You know what I'm saying? But will be there.
Well, and the Royal Rumble has always been well known for during the match. It'll set up feuds going forward into WrestleMania season. So things that happen at the Rumble will definitely, start that road to WrestleMania, as I always like to coin the phrase.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I agree with Mike in the chat too when it comes to Finn Balor. He said he thinks it's time for Balor to be booted from the Judgment Day in favor of Dominic taking over as leader to gain more heat. I do think that they've been laying the seeds for that as well.
Yeah.
So that is definitely coming. But I think at that point, once Dominic were to take over and Finn maybe goes out on his own, kind of like Damian Priest does, I think that Dominic will probably need to hire some muscle because I don't know if a McDonough,
But that's the whole point of
is
it.
going to be enough.
Yeah, but I think that's the gift of that. That's the funny part of it. Think about the Stooges with Vince. That was his
Yeah, fair.
muscle. You know what I'm
saying? Muscle.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying? Like, so
you.
it still works in the comedic aspect, but shit, all three of those guys are phenomenal in the ring. But as a comedic aspect of it, then that's your muscle, them your tough guys. Get the fuck out of my face. You know what I mean? But
fair.
It still plays into the character and the, what they got going on. So I don't think like I feel like with the Judgment Day, it's going to be a complete dismantle. Like they're gonna all, you know what I'm saying? Because
all go their separate ways.
Yeah, because legitimately after Priest and Rhea left, what was it? It was just, you know what I'm saying? And I get they were trying to do some other shit, but I think if you take Finn out of that, there is no more Judgment Day in the sense of like the Judgment Day. So like at that point, just do what you want. But I think if Finn leaves, JD leaves because like you could pair them legitimately as a tag team for a bit. Have them chase the titles, win the titles for a little bit, have a little bit of run with a legitimate run with the titles.
He did a little bit already, but not very long.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell the plan is with Carlito, but hell, I would love to see Carlito and Penta tied up.
He's going to eat more apples and spit in the faces of people who don't want to be cool.
Yeah, but like he's still a hell of a wrestler in the ring. So mid card is where he could be at. And hell, there's a mid card title there. So I think when the Judgment Day splits, they all split. But I see the joke in having him run the Judgment Day, be the leader, whatever. But that's my 2 cents on that shit.
I don't disagree. On the women's side for the women's Royal Rumble match, Nia Jax, after losing the women's championship to Tiffany Stratton last week, she targeted Rhea Ripley this week to declare for the women's Rumble match herself. And while not official, because it's likely to be a surprise, I would not be surprised if we get a lot more women's returns, especially when it comes to Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch.
Miranda, what's wrong?
What?
What's wrong? Like Charlotte is, you know what I'm saying?
Like her.
She is very, I would say, over
an acquired taste.
That too. But
no,
she has had a bit of time off.
Spoiled.
But that's the character.
Yeah.
It's Ric Flair's daughter. What do you want from her?
Well, yeah, but I have like a character is one thing. She can
retire.
She plays that way too well. That's her all the time.
No, Rick isn't really retired sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, the Becky Lynch one, I expect. Yeah, the Charlotte, but who comes in at 30? Becky or Charlotte?
Is that her current gear? You think that's what she's gonna come out in, or no?
Who? Becky?
Not her. No, Charlotte.
Probably
like
something like that.
Flamingo.
Something like that.
It's like a damn flamingo.
Bring Ronda Rousey out of retirement.
With her nose, her beak.
Well, I'm definitely going to call my shot and say that these two women will definitely be returning. Now, there's a few other, who for both?
Yeah,
I can see Becky.
I'll tell you what. Who comes out at 30?
Between the two, Becky.
Yep, Becky.
Get the babyface pop.
Now, here's the thing. What if they come out earlier, both of them? Not to start it off on Wednesday, but like one, let's say one at 10 and the other at 25, right?
Right.
And then Jade Cargill is 30.
I can see that too. Depending on who's in the rings. I think Jade Cargill, which is one I was going to mention here, who could be a potential return, is probably going to be returning more to go face-to-face with whoever put her out and through the car windshield or whatever it was.
Bianca.
Which a lot of people think it's Bianca. I know.
Baby Jesus, that's who it was.
I think that's the obvious choice.
I see it coming, big dog.
What, Baby Jesus?
On Baby Jesus.
Hello, Baby Jesus. They put it through a windshield. But anyway, Mike chimed in. He said, "Who should win the women's Royal Rumble match?"
Jade Cargill.
You think Jade's ready for a world title opportunity at WrestleMania?
You won't know unless you do it. You put all this trust in her already. She had a nice little run with the title. She carried herself as a champion with there. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But there's a difference between that and, carrying a world championship, singles title. Now, she did it in AEW to a degree.
I said she put a whole division on their back. They helped revitalize the women's tag title division. But, who else you going to put it on? You going to take it off of Rhea already? No.
No, that's why I don't think she wins, because her against Tiffany Stratton doesn't make much sense either. Now, like, Bianca had one of the belts, and maybe she could win one of the belts between now and then, maybe Elimination Chamber or something. That
I'm
would
just
make more
saying,
sense. But
her, if you picture it, Rhea Ripley, legit one of the badass women in wrestling, right? Line up against Nia Jax at WrestleMania, yeah, cool. You'd watch it. You gonna watch her and Becky? Yeah, 100% you'd watch it. Her and Charlotte, yeah, 100% you watch it. But if it's her and Jade, brother, that's crazy work.
yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of ways they could go about it, and there's a couple other ones I thought might be interesting too. I don't know their full status, but I thought at least bring it up as conversation. What about Alexa Bliss? We've not seen her in over a year since she had her baby.
Yeah, that's true. Alexa Bliss is another one.
And she recently posted photos of her on social media talking about how she's back to being below her, pregnancy weight. So she's back to, a little bit more athletic as she once was. So could we potentially see the return of Alexa Bliss? Probably not going to be the Fiend Alexa Bliss, because that's now been kind of passed on to Nikki Cross and stuff. So I'd say probably it could be just a return to form for her. So that's a very big possibility. Probably, hopefully Sans doll, because that doll was creepy.
She would get a huge pop at 30.
Yeah, she would. She'd be a big fan favorite.
Pop.
I wouldn't be surprised if she won, to be honest with you. To me, I feel like the women's Rumble match almost has more participants that have the potential to win than maybe the men's do.
A match between her and Tiffany Stratton, that'd be good.
And for surprise returns as well. Now, this next one, which is the last one I have, but I really don't know about her status. What about Asuka?
Brother,
it's been a minute.
I would pay to see her against Rhea or Stratton, because that's a woman you legitimately believe could beat either
I'd say
woman.
I think they've already done Rhea before, but yeah, Stratton would be a new matchup. But
a returning Asuka a returning Asuka set her sights on a motivated and determined fucking Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, pair her with Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah,
I mean that could be interesting.
Start a nice faction. Oh, that'd be pretty dope.
That would be sweet. And if you get some other characters who maybe would fit that mold and that faction, yeah, WWE. I mean, they don't have a ton of factions. That's a great deal. They got a lot of tag teams. So I wouldn't mind maybe seeing a little more faction warfare in WWE.
Damn, you're like they can bust out a lot of, especially
a lot of possibilities,
a lot of returns.
There's actually more potential for returns, especially in the women's battle royal or Royal Rumble, than there is the men's. I can't think of many men who are still hurt or free agents that they could pull in, unless it's like a TNA star.
I think you could do. I think you could do Charlotte first. This is not Rumble order here. I'm just talking about like debuting, like coming back. You do Charlotte first because she's gonna get a big pop, but I don't think she'll get a bigger pop than Becky.
No.
Period. But I think I think Asuka could get a bigger pop than Becky. So I would go Jade, Charlotte, because you could have a stare down between Jade and Charlotte.
Yeah, a stare down could happen, sure. Yeah.
Becky, and then you get that moment with Becky, Cargill, and Charlotte. And then I would do Asuka last, because I think Asuka could get a huge pop.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. Mike said in the chat, unless Bianca gains one of the world titles, I don't see Jade winning the Rumble, because Jade versus Bianca at Mania is the dream match. I agree with that.
Yeah, you're right.
That's where it's going eventually. But you can do that without the title too, and I'd be perfectly fine with it.
For sure.
Has Asuka held a title at WWE?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Multiple titles.
She was the longest reigning NXT Women's Champion, wasn't she?
Yeah.
She held one on a big show.
Yes, she was the women's champion for a while too.
Okay.
Champion. Yeah, she hasn't held one of the big cartels yet because they just introduced them. But yeah, she's had multiple world championships.
What I was saying was just other than NXT, but Brandon answered my question.
Okay. So next week on WWE programming, well, tonight technically some of this has already probably taken place. Tiffany Stratton is defending her women's world championship against Bayley. Again, this is kind of the Will Hobbs thing from AEW Dynamite, and the
good match for her, but She's
It
not
is,
losing that
but
title.
we all know that Bailey's not going to win the title from Tiffany Stratton 2 weeks after Tiffany Stratton
No,
won the belt finally.
but Bailey is believable as a real threat to Tiffany Stratton too. So it's
Agreed.
not like
And it will be a good
far
match. She'll
fetched
put
to
over.
happen. But no, she's not
Yeah.
gonna win.
Yeah, absolutely. But it'll be fun to watch for sure. We're also going to get the return of Solo Sikoa on SmackDown tonight too, to kind of further the bloodline stuff. We'll see how he is after taking that loss to Roman Reigns in tribal warfare, or whatever
I'm
they
sure
call it.
he's going to be in a
Oh,
good
man.
mood.
Yeah, he'll be a ray of sunshine.
I just thought of something too. I'll get
I'm
back
sure
to that
he
when we're
will
done with this.
Very
Okay.
forgiving.
Also on Monday Night Raw this week, we're going to have the return of the New Day. They'll be returning to
My
action as a
God.
heel for the first time. So we'll see how that ends up going. The crowd absolutely hates these two right now.
Fucking
They're getting
People
Wait.
legitimately are upset with these two.
far bigger heat than Dominic Mysterio's even been getting as of late.
Man,
Big time,
they
mega
are
nuclear
not
heat.
okay with that.
So they are not
Did you-
okay with it.
Think about what he said to Big E. He literally was like, "You broke your neck. So what?
Yes, and
So what?"
I was back, after hurt my I get it. We're also going to see
damn.
We're also going to get WWE Hall of Famer JBL making an appearance on Monday Night Raw, which is interesting because I believe he's been making appearances in TNA, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Clotheslining the hell out of people. I don't know exactly what the storyline is there.
Brother, he ran that girl over. That was crazy.
Yeah, so interesting to see that as well. And we're also going to get the main event, a WrestleMania rematch of Seth freaking Rollins versus Drew McIntyre.
Time out. Why does his picture look like a mugshot?
I don't know why both of these pictures look a little funny, especially Seth's.
Seth looks like a mugshot.
I don't know if it's like the
Or a
new
very
model they're
shitty
using for
camera.
Raw or what. But yeah, it looks like, you're right, kind of like a mugshot. It is interesting, isn't it?
What is the name of this paper? Oh, this on a Monday night.
This is Raw next week. Yeah.
Brother, this photo looks wild.
Seth
It
usually has some kind of weird glasses on now. too.
Yeah, but like
Yeah, maybe that's why it looks weird.
even
His eyes.
The lighting in Drew's is so fucking bright, but it looks
Yeah.
like they just cut the picture out like a Photoshop.
Yeah, well, even Drew looks a little pasty here. I mean, for
God.
Drew, I don't know. There's something about it. I don't like it. It's creepy.
It's off, and it's not. Yeah,
It's off-putting.
Yo, Steph's eyes is killing me.
Let's put it away. It's scary.
No, okay. So real quick, train of thought before I forget.
Oh, stop it now, Mike.
That's crazy. That's crazy, Mike.
Mug shots
That's
because they plan
crazy
to
work.
steal the show.
That's crazy work.
Back to his
Think
dad
about
joke.
in the men's Royal Rumble, right? I didn't even think about this shit. Jacob Fatu having, that real moment between him and Braun Breaker, and like just before they lock up, somebody breaks it up, but Jacob Fatu staring with Shinsuke Nakamura, him and dude, there, LA Knight, there's like legit,
There's a lot of stuff.
Man.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential in this year's the whole WrestleMania season in general. It's been booked so well so far. As long as they can carry it through to WrestleMania, they've got a potential to have a big time year for sure when it comes to the WrestleMania season.
What if
Which is
Solo?
good, because last year's Mania didn't really have that.
What
Yes,
if
it
Jacob?
did.
What if Jacob threw Solo out?
It was boring. It was.
Yeah.
Really-
You hear me?
They had The Rock and Roman Reigns and Cody and Undertaker, and it was
yeah.
boring.
Let's
Come on,
just
Matt.
bring back.
Moron.
Let's just
I
bring
hate
back all 50 of them.
I hate you so much. Anyway,
Anyway,
Fighting
what
each
if
other.
Jacob threw Solo out? Like he
oh
eliminated.
yeah, that would
Solo.
definitely be a wrinkle.
Man.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, he's
I
got
bet you gonna be there. Whatever, dude.
because Solo was off last week, and Jacob Fatu was kind of taking I'm the leader of this between him and was it Tamatanga?
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, he kind of had that look like maybe he would challenge for the head of the table, so to speak. I don't know.
You're gonna be right there to watch it live.
Yeah. Thank you for checking out this clip of the Dragon's Den podcast. If you like what you saw here, please consider checking out our live podcast almost every single Friday night here on the channel at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And until our next video, guys, take care and God bless.